Tori Eldridge is the author of the Brazilian dark fantasy Dance Among the Flames and The Ninja's Oath, book 4 in the Lily Wem thriller series, coming September 12th this year. She is an Academy Nickel Fellowship semifinalist, a 5th degree black belt ninja, and a former Broadway and TV performer. Tori's shorter works appear in numerous anthologies, including Weird Tales. Tori, it's yours.
Thanks so much. Hi, everyone. I'm Tori Eldridge. I'm going to read to you from Dance Among the Flames, in which you will meet my protagonist, Serafina Olegario. In the beginning of the book, you meet her as a 16-year-old unwed mother as she introduces her infant to her married politician lover who wants nothing to do with this baby. And as she's leaving this really uncomfortable situation, she is possessed by the goddess Yanza, and this disturbs Serafina. This is part of the Umbanda religion, which is an amalgamation of African Yoruba and Brazilian traditions and Catholicism. And Serafina finds a hard time with this because she was raised Catholic. But this goddess will not leave her alone. So this segment is from chapter 5. Sheets of rain pounded the night like the driving rhythms of the African drums and threatened to rip apart Serafina's family hovel, wash the scraps into Tainheros Inlet and out into the Bay of All Saints. She opened the front door and gazed into the storm. It called to her with promises of power and freedom. Had Isolde spoken the truth? Was the queen of the wind and rain really Serafina's god? She closed her eyes and breathed in the mingled scent of ocean and rain. The goddess's name had sounded familiar. Serafina was certain she had heard it before, although when she tried to recall the memory, it slipped from her mind like the ping of a bell. Was this for the best? Had God taken her memory of Yanza to protect her from temptation? Serafina was not ready to give up the Catholicism of her youth. She needed the sacrament of penance to absolve her sins. And at 26, Serafina had sinned more than most. How would she receive Almighty God's forgiveness if she took heathen gods into her heart? Her faith was not as strong as her mother's. She went along for the ride with her brothers and fathers, said the prayers, crossed her heart, confessed the sins, and hoped God would stop his persecution and finally give her a better life. Her mother prayed for their souls. Serafina held out her hand and watched as the rain washed it clean. Was this how it was with Isolde's religion? Were Umbanda followers able to commune directly with their gods and have their sins absolved? Did they even believe in sin? And if not, did sin still exist? The Mãe de Santos claimed that the spiritual heart of Brazil resided in Africa, and that the people who knew this gathered in the terreiros where they could honor and nourish their African gods. They showered them with devotion so the gods would not abandon them and return to their home across the ocean, never to visit again. They bribed Eshu with gifts and begged and pleaded their case and assured the Orixás of their love. Serafina had listened to all of this and more, but still wasn't ready to believe. Yet when the storm called, she went. Rain pelted her face and tamed her wild hair. Mud splattered up her legs and immediately washed away. Although every muscle in her twitched to run back to the warm, dry house, something stronger pulled Serafina into the storm. A familiar presence shoved against her mind like a bully knocking her from the path. "Mind!" it cried, and shoved again. Serafina spun in the rain, prepared to fight as her elusive memory returned. She recognized this presence. It had entered her 10 years ago outside of Enrique's apartment. She had thought it was an angel sent to her by God because it had empowered her to fight off a robber and reclaim her baby. Now she could feel its imperious rage and knew the goddess meant her harm. A battle cry ripped through Serafina's mind, followed by the triumphant laughter. Yanza had taken control. There was nothing Serafina could do but listen to the voices as they floated in on the wind. Serava, here comes Yanza. With her luminous crown, here comes Yanza. With the wind and rain, she travels the forest, flying over the hills. Here comes Yanza, queen of the wind and the rain. Epase, epase. The god in Saint Serafina recognized herself in the words of the followers and rushed to greet them. But the rain and the wind made Serafina heady. She lost her direction, wanting only to dance in the storm. She imagined herself dressed in a tunic and pants fashioned from the hide of a beast she had killed herself. She waved what should have been her horsetail scepter to the sky and dared the lightning to strike her down. Power flowed through her body and electrified every nerve. She was Yanza, and Yanza was her. Together, they sped across Bahia like a flash of light until they reached the great Amazon River. Their flurry disturbed the spirits of the dead. When the Ejuns recognized Yanza, the only Orisha who would dare to confront them, they fled. Serafina threw her arms up into the air and shouted the goddess's victory, but Yanza had left and Serafina was alone. "Stop fighting me!" a woman yelled and grabbed Serafina by the jaw. Fingers wiped the silt from her face as Carmen peered into her eyes. "Are you? Serafina grabbed her friend. "I don't know. I think so. What am I doing in the mud?" Serafina. Mother sobbed with relief behind her. Her son, Carlinhos, cowered as if Serafina might attack him. "What has happened? What did I do?" Carmen laughed, danced in the rain like a crazy woman, shouted at the thunder. "You make so much racket. Everybody come out to see." But they say, "Oh, it's just crazy Serafina." And they go back into their house. Not stay out in the rain like us, sitting in the mud with you. Carlinhos and her mother huddled together while Carmen pulled Serafina to her feet. "It all seems so real," Serafina said. "We were flying across Bahia and running along the Amazon. We challenged the Ejuns and made them flee." "We who?" Serafina asked. "Me and Yanza." Everybody gasped, but Serafina was too overwhelmed to care. She had raced across Brazil and challenged the spirits of the dead. Had any of this been real? "I don't understand. What's happening to me?" Carmen shrugged. "I don't either, but I think I know who does." And there you go, a little taste of Dance Among the Flames. I'm going to give away an ebook edition to one USA reader. So sign up for that, and you can learn more about me on my website, torieldridge.com.